Hello, as always, thank you for joining me. Thanks to all new subscribers, new members, those who contribute by commenting, and to those who've stuck out listening to me, looking at me for quite a long time. I appreciate you all. Thank you. I don't appreciate that. I have a horrible feeling there's a cement mixer about to begin. That sounds a familiar sound. Okay, I want to talk about CARPE DIEM, and that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm seizing the day to get in a few recordings. I'm still planning on getting quite a few set up ready because I don't know what's going on with medical appointments, etc. So if I've got some in the bag, then I know that I'm all right and it's something that I don't have to be concerned about. Probably wouldn't be missed, but to me it's important that I post unless I've given a reason for not doing so. Hey ho. So, carpeing the diem. I don't know why it resonates with me, because Latin, I was hopeless at Latin at school. And yes, we still did have to try and learn Latin. I failed 2 O-levels. Latin, because I backed out of it before I took an exam. And history, because in those days it was all dates and battles, neither of which interested me, and I cannot remember numbers. I'll try and work out routines for them, but dates, if 1066 and the Battle of Hastings wasn't there, that was it. And as a history teacher said, you're not going to use any history, so don't bother retaking it. In fact, I did consider retaking it when I was supporting secondary pupils in school, because I really liked the history that they were doing. It was more social and society-based, learning about the history of medicine, the history of clothing, the history of homes. Now that rang my bells, and I would have liked that. But for the Latin, no. All the wars and balum, 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 belie, below, below, bala, 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 balorum, belice, belice. That's it. End of my Latin. And I know that it's the root of many modern languages, but I'm not very good at learning languages anyway. Maybe if I'd got on better with my Latin, I might have got on better with learning modern languages. My main concern about having to jack in Latin was that the Latin master was actually gorgeous. He was a young man, and when I did my last exam that I ever did in Latin, I actually made him swear with the score I got, or the lack of score that I got. Everybody in the class went, oh. So I did succeed in something, even if it wasn't something that really was a positive success. So back to seizing the day. Sometimes seizing the day for us is actually acknowledging that the day has started and getting out of bed. For those, it's an almighty physical or mental battle. And when you've had that battle first thing in the morning, before you've even cleaned your teeth or had any breakfast, then you are wiped out for the day. And it's hard for most people to imagine how that feels, but it does feel absolutely flipping grotty. But it's success. It's success for the person who has achieved that, who maybe didn't take as long to get out of bed as they did the day before. maybe they got to make some breakfast. Maybe they actually got dressed, which again can be a huge achievement for so many. But for the rest of us who haven't really got an excuse, then it's good to seize the day. Squeeze the most out of every day that you possibly can, because you aren't going to get that day back again. Yes, today I could sit in this same seat, surrounded by these same plants, still having the hose pipe to wind up, but it will be a different day. I'll have aged another day. It could be raining. You don't know. So rather than make excuses, put things off, or procrastinate even, then grab the day. Set yourself targets for what you're going to do. Don't be as I used to be. I admit, ridiculous. I would have a list this long and I'd probably get through that amount. So I now aim for having that amount. And if I don't succeed with those, then let's say it's Monday's list, I'll put Monday at the top. And if I've not succeeded, I'll put Monday/Tuesday. So I've still got the list. It's just a bit of a cheat for me to stop me beating myself up. And the more you can do that and be grateful for that day, be grateful for having got out of bed despite the pain, be grateful for having achieved maybe just one thing on your list, be even more grateful for achieving everything that you had set out to do. And there will be folk who do that on a regular basis. And the belows like me, maybe now that my pace has slowed down, I just don't get as much done. It's called getting older. I'm just grateful that I'm still around to get something done. And that day, it's there to be seized. It doesn't matter what time you get up. I used to have a rigid getting up and going to bed time. One far too early and one far too late. But now I wake with the sun or the birds, well, usually the pigeons, doing what pigeons do on the roof over my bed. I shall leave that there. And I take my day slowly at the beginning. So it's more of a gentle pulling in rather than a grabbing. But once I've sorted myself, I've abluted, fed myself, then I can get on with getting on. And don't compare yourself with what you used to do. I just did it there, which was stupid. I made myself ill by working the long hours that I did. And I didn't get any appreciation for it. So I now appreciate myself for having the common sense to listen to my body, but still grab the day and achieve. On that note, I hope that you achieve at a level that's appropriate for you, not something that a friend does, not something that someone much younger does, someone with much more time on their hands does. What is appropriate for you? Because I make no apology for saying it again, you are a unique individual, a unique human being. So go CARPE your DIEM, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now. Bye.